Hello readers, I'm Amy and I'm your nonfiction feminist. Today we are going over the next 5 books in my Moody May and Mentalhealth-athon reads for this month. Moody May is part of the Devour Your TBR Goodreads challenge that I am doing this year. I will go ahead and link that down below if you would like to join. And the Mentalhealth-athon was hosted by Nicole at A Beautiful Chaos of Books. I've had an awesome time with the Mentalhealth-athon. I only really did it for like the first 2 or 3 weeks because at that point I had read so many mental health books that like I needed to move on to another topic, as one does. But I had a great time with it. So we will start off with my next read after the ones that I mentioned in part 1, linked down below, if you haven't seen it yet, and that would be Furiously Happy, a funny book about horrible things by Jenny Lawson. This is pretty much the first book that I read this month that I really, really enjoyed. Jenny Lawson is hilarious. I read her first memoir a couple years back, and like, it was so weird and so funny and so great, and I started the Mentalhealth-athon and I thought back to her second book and it's like, I gotta read this, I gotta read Furiously Happy. And it was really funny. It goes a lot into Lawson's anxiety and depression, but also puts that humorous spin on it. And humor, as I know from my work, is one of the best coping skills that you can have. If you're dealing with any sort of illness, try to have a sense of humor about it. It's harder for some things than for others, but like, laughter fixes just about everything, and this book is kind of proof of that. I really enjoyed myself, and it was an audiobook, and I've gotten to the point that I can listen to audiobooks a little faster than I could when I initially started listening to them about a year ago. Really? I haven't been listening to audiobooks for that long. And not only listening to Jenny Lawson's actual voice, but listening to it at a higher rate of speed just made the whole thing funnier. So if you can listen to a faster audiobook, like, turn the speed up on this one and it'll just make you laugh harder. It was great. Also, apologize for any background noise. It's hot in this room. I have opened up the window, so you may hear the bird song. I don't know. I'll find out whenever I edit this. Book 2 for this part 2 on the wrap up is Book of 1,000 Days. So this is my first non-mental health-athon book that I started this month. Educated, in my last review I started in April. Book of 1,000 Days is a middle grade book. I do not really read middle grade anymore except for a very select few. And I had started this when I was in middle school, and I, for the life of me, could not remember how it ended. And in reading this time, I realized I don't think I ever actually finished it, and I couldn't even tell you why. But I went ahead and read this. It was a really quick read for me, and it was so good. Like, for middle grade, the writing was really good. Like, I am a stickler for writing style. If the worst plot and worst characters is in a book with the best writing, I will read it. If the best plot with the best characters is in the book with the worst writing, there's no way you can get me to read it. I depend so much on writing style, and apparently I'm actually one of the few that depends that much on writing style. But anyways, point being, for a middle grade writing style, I actually really enjoyed myself. It's got some very awesome female characters in this. Most of the characters in this are female. And it goes into depression a little bit, so it's kind of like, oh, surprise, it actually is some mental illness representation, so that was great. These 2 women are trapped in a tower, supposed to be for 7 years as a punishment for the princess not wanting to marry who she was supposed to or obligated to or whatever, and they escape about, like, maybe halfway through the book, and then it goes into everything that happened in those 2 years while they were in the tower, and how they like try and fix everything and get everything to come back together. It was really good. It's actually based on a story called Maid Maline. I don't know like who originally wrote that fairy tale, so it is a retelling too. If you really enjoy retellings, I would highly recommend this book. Yeah, so I have to find the original story so I can find out what this was inspired by. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed myself for someone who doesn't read middle grade. Oh, I've got my little Inklings tracker here and my bullet journal that I'm trying to read because I have so many books. Next up, I read the group book Sparrow by Sarah Moon. I absolutely loved this. I will link my full review down below, so I'm not going to talk about this too much since I did a whole video on it. But it is another depression book. Another depression book. I read a lot of mental health books have depression in them. It was also a therapy rep. You do not see a lot of therapy in books, or at least I don't. And I thought it was a really amazing representation for therapy. Something that I didn't really cover in my review is how much it goes into music and how music was a part of her healing. Yes, this was a 5-star book for me. Young adult, which is another genre that I really don't read a lot of, again because of the writing style. It's a younger, simpler writing style that I really struggle to get into, but I did thoroughly enjoy this book. I will do a video series here soon on genres that I don't normally read, but like here's some books from those genres that I actually really loved. There is a bird on top of the window that my cat is really attracted to. Okay, it's gone. Which is funny, because we're talking about Sparrow right now. Anyways, really enjoyed this. Young adult. Please check this out if you're looking for a good therapy representation. And that was 3. Okay, book number 4, I have The Quiet Room. This one, this was so good. It was another schizophrenia representation, and it reads like a memoir, like it has that real like personality that a good memoir has, but it's actually an autobiography and biography combined. A lot of the book is written by the author herself, who has schizophrenia, who went through years of treatment and medication changes. She dealt with a lot of a lot of auditory and visual hallucinations, mainly auditory hallucinations. But a lot of the book is also written by her mother, father, 2 brothers, I think it's 2 brothers, and one of her doctors. So you really get like this full view of her schizophrenia and how it affected her and the people around her. And that was really awesome. I loved the writing. It was in chronological order, so you really got a sense of what happened when. I loved this. If you're looking for schizophrenia, a really great nonfiction read with a lot of personality to it, I would highly recommend The Quiet Room. It was just awesome. It was one of my favorite reads, if not my absolute favorite read, for the Mentalhealth-athon. So the last book that I'm going to cover in this part 2 of my wrap-up is Hunger by Roxane Gay. This is a reread for me. I did not read How to Grow an Addict. That was the other book that I was planning on rereading for this month. It's just one, I didn't get around to it, and then I wasn't really in the mood for it. But I did do one reread for this month. Again, that was Hunger. This is a series of essays. It was my eating disorder representation for the month. And there is a trigger warning for rape, and how, like, she goes into it a little more than she did in her essay collection Bad Feminist, which is one of her, like, 2 other books that I've read. I also read Difficult Women. That was really good. She just has really awesome essay collections. I don't read a lot of essays, but I love Roxane Gay's essays. But it talks a lot about how the rape affected not only like her relationships with others, but also her eating, and how she ate to protect herself and to build up her body for protection, and how she struggles with that now. She's been on several diets and they have started to work, but as soon as she starts dropping the weight, she gets nervous, she feels unsafe, and she puts it all right back on again. So, I mean, careful if you have trouble with eating disorder books, but this was really powerful, and it's also a reminder that you are constantly healing from past traumas. This would also it would also go for a PTSD rep. It was really good. I recommend Roxane Gay to anyone and everyone. She's just an amazing writer who you can really connect to kind of no matter what you've been through. You will find something from Roxane Gay that you can really relate to. I found myself relating a lot to this book in my own kind of weight struggles. I mean, it's nothing like she went through. I didn't have like an eating disorder, but it's just a reminder of how much people judge us by our bodies and for things that we can't necessarily control. And it was really good. It brought a lot of stuff up for me, but actually in a really good way. So, I loved it. I loved it. That is it for part 2. I will be releasing part 3 tomorrow. Part 2 had some books that I was like way more into. Got more towards the middle of the month and I was really finding kind of the meat of this readathon for me. So yes. I have 5 more books to discuss in my next video. If you want to hear about those, then like, subscribe, and be my friend, and you will get an update whenever that video goes up. Have a wonderful afternoon, have a mentally healthy day, and I will see you in my next video.